Hey everyone, and welcome back to another movie review where we are covering another musical since I think the last one was probably like The Little Mermaid, I think. The remake, I should say. Anyway, I'm your host, Seven Purple Minute 8, joined once more by Petal ASMR slash the Obsidian Nook, better known as my wife. Wouldn't say hello, and I will introduce. Hi. We are also joined by Stuzzy, our fluffy little cat, who has been downstairs for about 6 hours, and as soon as we start recording, decides he finally wants to come up the stairs.
His biscuit climbing on the...
Yeah,
I think he's come up.
I think he's in a strop. Because usually he gets his biscuits and then he gets his treats. So we are covering Bugsy Malone for my choice this week. A film I haven't seen in about 10 years, but used to love when I... Probably. I don't think I remember watching it in high school at all. Not long.
Alright.
I've got it from the charity shop.
So yes, he likes it that much that he has it on DVD. So that answers that question.
Yeah, this film... I used to watch this film a lot when I was young. And I also, fun fact, performed it in primary school. I was a character by the name of Snake Eyes, who is a character in the film. It doesn't have many lines. Just sort of sits there and plays with dice a couple of times. I do have also another little bit of trivia for you. In that performance I did, there's, spoilers for the film. The scene where Fat Sam's gang gets ambushed in the laundry place and they just get splurged.
Yeah.
No one actually splurged me in that scene, so there's just me stood there going, and then I just fall over. No one actually shot me, which wasn't fun. So yeah, I used to watch this film a lot. I performed it in primary school, which is, I don't know what the American equivalent is. What comes before high school in the UK? Elementary school, I guess? I don't know. I don't care. I don't know. So yeah, it's a musical, which Amelia usually doesn't like. She also doesn't like films that begin with 19. She calls it immediately old. Straight away, it's one of them old films. To be fair, it is 1976. So, yeah, I would class that as a bit of an older film. Considering this, how old's this film now? 48 years old? Ish? Yeah, I think so. Excuse me. So, as your first viewing and someone who doesn't like musicals very much, what did you think of it?
It wasn't as bad as some musicals.
I think the problem with musicals is usually when you have a musical, it's really cheesy. It's usually like some sort of romance film. But
the thing is, it isn't... I say I don't like musicals on the fact that if they've got too many songs,
when it's just songs and no film.
So this one did have a bit of acting in between, so it wasn't just song.
Yeah, there was actual scenes instead of it just being like, we're going to basically sing our dialogue.
I think I enjoyed this a little bit more because it was, crammed. I mean, I think I remember seeing Cats, my mum, I think 3 or 4 years ago.
Naturally, considering how obsessed she was. And obviously the fact we have 3.
We saw the live action, and don't get me wrong, I'm glad I got that memory. God, I love Cats myself, and it's just...
I mean, it's based off the stage show, so I don't know what you expected. Plus, God, we've got to cover Cats at some point, because the CGI in that is atrocious. For a live-action film, and they choose to, like CGI actors' faces onto the cats. Which, I guess is kind of a callback to, like, the stage show where they're done in makeup and prosthetics to kind of look like cats.
Yeah, because I've seen as the Bingo music.
We never got around to reviewing that, I'm sure we will one day.
it was Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, Little Shop of Horrors. That's a
I
good one.
genuinely can't remember that one, but I know that's a movie.
There's obviously The Little Mermaid we've covered. Yeah, that's a film about music, though. That's difficult to not make it a musical. And then obviously we've got The Rocky Horror Show, which, my god, is such a trip of a film that I can't wait to eventually cover that whenever Morgan actually does something. But he is choosing not to actually review anything, and he's busy with live stuff at the minute. Hence why, if you watch the playthroughs, it's all over the place at the minute. So I'll actually talk about the film now, as opposed to just, like, comparing it to other films. Let's have a look. So it's directed by Alan Parker, and it offers a fresh and entertaining twist on the traditional gangster genre. If you've seen clips, you've heard the songs. The entire cast are children and teenagers.
I was going to say, we learned a bit about the actors, didn't we? Because some of them didn't have...
Yeah, one of them, especially Blousey, went on to be in the Air Force, I think.
One of them's passed as well.
Yeah. Well, one of them got convicted for a crime. I also found out fraud, I think. That's, Anyway, we're not on about the cast, we're on about, the actual film. One of the most unique aspects of Bugsy Malone, as mentioned, is its all-child cast. Scott Baio, could be pronouncing that completely wrong, shines as the smooth-talking Bugsy Malone, bringing an incredible amount of charm and charisma to the role. And Jodie Foster is captivating as the sultry and ambitious Tallulah. Didn't even know that was Jodie Foster who plays Tallulah, but now that I've seen it, can't unhear it. What's that?
The fact that, you know, when she went on stage and she sang herself
It's Tallulah. Yeah.
I know she's like a child actor, so...
She's also, you know, been in like Taxi Driver and Silence of the Lambs. Two massive films. Sorry, we're filming this at like
Anyway,
11:15.
When she was singing, her lips weren't matching up because the rest of the cast had me like really fooled, especially you know the one who really played into the role of the gangster.
Oh,
When I said to you, he's
Fat Sam.
yeah.
Fat Sam was having white. He didn't have it. He doesn't have his own song, but my god, he was like chewing up scenery left and right. He loves that role. You can tell how much fun he was having as the character.
But it's just like everyone else's songs matched up, and everyone until we got blues, like they're not actually singing them, are they?
I mean, it's clear when you hear, like, if you compare some of the dialogue with the actual like musical scenes where they're singing, it's very clear that they've got an adult, especially the janitor that sings his song. Like some of his bits were a bit weird
because their mouths were, you know, when they were lip singing or whatever they call it, it was all matching up until we got to Tallulah.
Yeah. That's because her song is really weird. I've never really liked it. I also don't like the janitor's song too much. I don't think that was necessary for the film. Yeah, Bad Guys is an absolute banger of a song, which as I said to you, I also had to perform that song. I had to choreograph that exact dance they did in the film. Oh my god, that was so fucking fun. I miss that's like one of my favourite memories of primary schools. I wish I still had footage of it somewhere. I would love to find it, but I think my old school did record it, but I do not know what happened to the website or anything like that, or if it's even still up. Probably not. I don't even know if they changed their name. Anyway, so as we mentioned about Tallulah, showcasing the talent that would define her illustrious career, as I mentioned in Silence of the Lambs and Taxi Driver. Just a random side note that I have to throw in here. I was doing some research on this after we watched it. A lot of the cast are English. A surprising amount of them were British. which I was shocked by. But anyway, random little tangent. The musical numbers composed by Paul Williams are both catchy and endearing. Songs like Fat Sam's Grand Slam, which is embarrassing to say that after like 10 years of not watching it, I knew all the lyrics to them still. And of course, as we mentioned, Bad Guys, which is a banger of a song, are not only integral to the story, but also stand on their own as memorable pieces of music. Williams' clever and playful lyrics perfectly complement the youthful exuberance of the performers. Alan Parker's direction is deft and imaginative. The set designs and costumes are meticulously crafted, creating a vivid and engaging world that enhances the film's unique charm. I think I was having a look in also my research. I think it got an award for the costumes. Admittedly, it's obviously on a set, but a lot of the scenes on the street go past the same like businesses that we see in the film. It's essentially narrowed down to being on one street, as well as like the woods. I mean, there is this absolute Dandy Dan's house is this big grand mansion. It's a really like fancy thing.
It just laugh because I can't get used to the fact that there's children playing gangsters.
Yeah,
So
it's such a weird yet unique.
it's funny, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's a unique take on a gangster like format. Because as I said to you, they couldn't have kids really being around guns on screen at the time. I mean, you'll probably notice now that there's still not a lot of films that have guns and children in the same sort of scene. But having the idea of a gangster film where they use cream pies and splurge guns, as they call it, instead of like Tommy guns and like other guns like that, it's clever. It's a good way of getting past that sort of like restriction they had. The whimsical setting and delightful anachronisms transport viewers to a fantastical version of the 1920s Prohibition-era Chicago. So, do you know what I must say? Because I didn't even bother like discussing with this the other night.
Chicago's pizza.
Close enough. Do you know what a speakeasy is? I don't really want to like go into the history of like the Prohibition era. You know, in the film where he gives the money, he puts it in the book, and then he gives it to the bouncer in the bookshop.
Right, yeah.
Because of, forgive me, I could be completely wrong. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments. I don't care. But alcohol was heavily like restricted. So basically, they would have a front like a bookshop like that, and then they'd have the bar in the back where they'd be able to like sell alcohol
Oh, yeah, I see.
illegally.
Yeah.
But obviously they needed that front. That's why he goes into the back and it's a big open area. That's what speakeasy is. I could be completely butchering that, but anyway. The creativity of Bugsy Malone doesn't stop at its concept. The film's humour and playful take on gangster tropes make it a joyous and spirited experience. Where else can you see bite-sized mobsters engaging in pie fights and wielding splurge guns that shoot whipped cream? It's true. Bugsy Malone is a testament to the power of creativity and innovation in filmmaking. Oh, I didn't even say about the... Not only is it the guns, but a staple of that era is its cars. And what made you laugh is the fact they're pedal cars instead of being like engines. It's basically a go-kart. Well, not even a go-kart, because obviously they're engines, but they're pedals. They're basically just bikes. It's a delightful escape into a world where imagination reigns supreme, offering humour, music, and a touch of nostalgia for audiences of all ages. Whether you're a fan of musicals, gangster films, or simply looking for a heartwarming movie, Bugsy Malone is a must-see. So yeah, that about sums it up. As we mentioned, it's a good laugh. The songs are fucking catchy, and I can't believe I remembered it like 10 years on from when I last watched it. But it's a classic, it's funny, it's silly, it's a silly little concept that it's well executed for what it is, really. But yeah, unless my partner here has any extra things she wants to add, I think that about does it.
definitely watch it.
It's a good laugh, and it's one of my all-time favourite films from when I was younger. So yeah, that about sums it up then. Thank you ever so much for listening. I've been your host, as ever, Pavmin. I joined again by the Obsidian Nook / Panel ASMR. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, that about does it, and we will see you next time.